Hello, hello, hello. Live light. Or more. Quit early. A modern story about redefining success on your own terms. Modern life has a way of piling it on. Earn more, hustle harder, keep up, don't fall behind. Somewhere between chasing promotions and refreshing our feeds, many of us begin to wonder, what exactly are we running toward? And is it worth the cost? This story isn't a miracle formula for fast money or effortless success. It's not a how-to on passive income or a shortcut to retire by 35. What you're about to hear is one man's journey, an honest, quiet path toward a lighter life, more intentional earning, and the freedom to stop chasing what doesn't matter. Because sometimes, the first step to financial freedom is just learning how to breathe again. It started on a Monday. Ben, 33, rolled over in his apartment in downtown Chicago. His head felt heavy, like the weekend hadn't happened at all. His alarm hadn't even gone off yet, but his body was already awake. 5 a.m., and dread filled the silence. He grabbed his phone, scrolled past Slack pings, unread emails, and yet another reminder from his calendar, performance review due. Ben worked in marketing at a top-tier firm. Good salary. Regular flights. Perks that looked great on paper. People said he was doing well, on track. But behind the LinkedIn-ready profile was someone exhausted. Someone who felt like he was sprinting on a treadmill, moving fast, getting nowhere. One night at a bar, surrounded by longtime friends and the clink of pint glasses, he blurted out, "Anyone else feel like we're all just running? But no one knows where." There was a pause. Then his friend Lisa said, "I think most of us are just too tired to step off." That stuck with Ben. He started noticing things, how he spent money when he was stressed. How much of his time went to things he didn't care about. How much of his life was shaped by what others expected. When did living well get reduced to earning and spending more? When did quitting early become a sign of laziness? When did waking up each day stop feeling like living? Those questions didn't have answers right away. But they cracked something open. Slowly, Ben started shifting quietly, practically. First, the little things. He stopped grabbing overpriced lattes on his morning rush. Instead, he made coffee at home, not for the savings, but for the sense of control. He realized he wasn't buying things because he needed them. He was buying them because he was tired. Tired, so he ordered takeout. Tired, so he shopped online. Tired, so he paid for convenience. And the more he spent, the more he needed to earn, and the cycle kept spinning. So he started learning about minimalism. Not the kind with white walls and 3 t-shirts. Just enough to recognize what added value and what didn't. He cleared half his closet in one weekend. Gave away things he hadn't touched in over a year. Fancy sneakers bought just to fit in at work events? Never worn. Guilt. One evening, walking along the river, the breeze brushing his face, Ben remembered getting his first $5,000 paycheck. He thought he'd made it. But the truth? The more he earned, the more he spent. The more he spent, the more pressure he felt. Everything escalated, except peace. So he began keeping a simple journal, his freedom log. Every expense, every decision, followed by a question. Does this bring me freedom, or more dependence? One day, he stood in front of a watch on sale. Beautiful. Discounted. He picked it up. Took a step toward the register. Then paused. If I don't buy this, what do I lose? Nothing, he realized. He put it back. It felt like a win. Not over anyone else, just himself. Ben began decluttering more than his closet. He cleaned up his inbox. Cleared his schedule. Started meditating for 10 minutes every morning. No emails. No TikTok. No noise. Life outside didn't change. The city still honked. Deadlines still loomed. Clients still called after hours. But he changed. He started choosing. Responding less. Reacting less. Breathing more. At a cozy coffee shop one afternoon, he played a podcast on personal finance. A single quote stayed with him for hours. Financial freedom isn't about having tons of money. It's about not having to think about money every day. He smiled. He wasn't rich, but he was worrying less. And that was progress. Still, something nagged at him. Living light was powerful, but incomplete. because Ben was still tied to a paycheck. One round of layoffs and things could fall apart. That's when he started thinking about phase 2. Earn more on your own terms. He didn't quit his job. Not yet. He planned. He signed up for an online writing course, not for career points, but to actually get better. He started a personal blog, wrote every day, shared his story, living lighter, spending mindfully, redefining success. And slowly people noticed. He got emails. How do I start a budget like yours? Can you help me write something for my site? Small gigs. Small money. But the joy? Huge. Ben took on freelance projects, carefully chosen. He didn't want chaos. He wanted flow. Each finished job brought satisfaction, not just for the payment, but for what it symbolized. He was building something of his own. A year passed. He resigned. No more 9 to 5. No more meetings just to look busy. No more pretending grind meant growth. And the twist? His income didn't drop. Some months, it grew. Because he learned how to create value, how to protect his energy, how to say no. But most importantly, he felt free. In his time. In his choices. In his mornings. He still worked, but only on what felt aligned. He still earned, but only from things that mattered. And that third phase? Quitting early without quitting life. Ben no longer used an alarm. But most days he woke up with the sun. Brewed his coffee. Sat by the window in his Brooklyn apartment. No rush. No noise. He still wrote, now not for clients, but for readers who resonated. He spoke at small gatherings about money, mindset, and freedom. He wasn't a guru. Just a guy with a story. A guy who got tired of being tired and decided to do something about it. He found meaning not in hustle, but in honesty. One day, someone asked him, "Are you happy now?" He thought for a moment, then said with a calm smile, "Not every day." But if you're still listening, maybe a part of you is also feeling what Ben once felt. Maybe you've woken up asking, who am I doing all this for? What do I really want? When will I feel light again? Ben's path isn't a template, but maybe it's a nudge. You can live lighter. You can earn more without the grind. You can quit early, not to escape, but to begin something true. Your life. Your rules. No noise. No rush. Just clarity, courage, and the freedom to be yourself, fully, honestly, daily. Start slow. Stay steady. And trust that freedom is closer than you think.